was my mention on a more call for Umbra around the J report so na yenyine nim say 2028 Ghana ye wa kono ye kwa abatwa no na yakọ akakokyere gokuru motitumi nti sisi ya meno kasa de obi a ahya ase ya oboaboa no obi a boro hasuo se de be ya ebre ni du a ebetimi de tumi no ede ama no enei NDC amonyokuo wonum nhye dan nyi de obi obetu franka de ama amonyokuo no de nanso so wonum mayi omuti obi de se general se edon katia bi so che se ato force Haruna Idrusu na vice president Jena na opoku agiman na Julius Debra sa nipa numi na se de omudin na nenam abonten so se bia omubia betimi atu franka de ama amonyokuo no nanso se hwan na beba se hwan na beba MPP was no kwa amonyokuo se say de wonum atu anamo bia yehu pa ya minim se obi obetu franka de ama NDC bia sabre yehu atono so ehu atono so vi se committee ya wo mate na ohwe nmemme kukudam ya wo mundi omunyina ba be hima be wuram se wo munyina na emra meboa no na chesampa MPP afei na wo mu ani abre pa se o mo petumi bi age na yegyina yenim ahiagba ya wo no o ye spokesperson na se communications director edema MPP amonyokuo no ene wonya dagia bibi mu apapa mu akyerekere se mu pa Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ene anamo ben na watu Kennedy akompre ko Agyapong Bryan Agyapong osaya Adutwum na engineer kwa branch Agyapong se nipa nan edi anamo eno mo ne Bawumia atu a sese de eja NDC ayamhyehyie nyadaje na yentie ziga ebra woni ahiagba atwetwe nkomo ewo san nkomo ya akoso ewo MPP amonyokuo mu sese de ase ni daso kakra eya ba MPP mu amachitafo ne hunu se sese de aka koyi de bia yensusu yebetimi anya ntuo bi agina so na e de akonkode 2028 bomodi anse obe like me video ya mami wadaro ma share ne titiro pa no fa wadwenkyere bra na yenyina no yenhua mu ade.
New Patriotic Party set up 30 committees to boost party organization. What does it mean? NPP reconstitute standing and sector committees, rebuilding the party or repositioning for power. What is the difference? And so in the shortest time, I'll be joined by the communications director, national communications director, and the person of Richard Ahiaba, Ebe Johnny, and now you digested this issue. People don't understand standing committee and the sector committee. What does it mean? The sector committee, when I say, "O kaumuni na bomwa," when I ask the share, a dear Duma Potipa, and the sector and the standing committee, Ebabe. So Richard Ahiaba will be here to, answer these questions for us. Okay, so go to Facebook, Uko Facebook. All right, on the line I have Richard Ahiaba is the National Communications Director for New Patriotic Party. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. All right, I'm waiting for Richard Ahiaba, a Director of Communications at the New Patriotic Party. NPP reconstitute standing and sector committees, rebuilding the party and repositioning for power. And that is the question that we are asking this afternoon. All right, I'm told that Mr. Richard Ahiaba is back on the line. Sir, thank you very much, sir. Why joining you on the Kesben TV? We are live on the Kesben TV, DSTV channel 364 and GoTV channel 121. Now, your party constitution say Article 10, Clause 2 and Clause 6. And what they established a standing committee and a sector committee were also formed in accordance with the Article 10, Clause 3A and 8 and 14 Clause 5. Now tell us so the standing committee and the sector committee Aduma be pan or mobabe before we go to the substantive issue no Aduma be pan do these two committees ne babe.
Yo that's it. I mean in chair one kasane chief for ne ahefo. I think what the kind actually constitutional basis no for standing committees no and only a committee part of national council Jumano standing committees amendment and I say we increase about 4 or 5 more committees are part of national council committees the constitution provides every 6 months they are Omode report ebefa National Executive Committee so na akọ National Council na omachire edwuma omoye na afede no na edebo party no by in those various areas. I think the sector committees no and also so is an additional about to expand the party's tentacles. Say other sectors are National Council committees or more normal coordinating specifically in terms of research. The Bawumia party formulating your messaging, your communication, making sure sector idea show focus on generating research information and penny for back on Abuama to me higher policy the one area should say MPP bar you might be based on fact and yes idea will be a bonus more card here but the sign money now will come from the various sector committees and now research on based on interaction with people and then from the research data on that policy Abuama MPP messaging and then your alternative prescription for Ghana's development.
That's fantastic. Now, catch committees Libya. Ya we say you high. You was spokesperson, the various committees. No, would that spokespersons will be under you? You as a national director of communication. No, would they operate under you?
Largely, no. They almost so that committee, will be a National Council committee. And they work and give their research findings to National Council through National Executive Committee. And almost necessarily are not an arm for communication, but communication the interaction about communication and as information and data or generated will be fed into our communication streamer as information about Bawumia communication. But our charge fundamentally is to generate data about party housing, for example, or may agri for example. Would be informed by our committee, will take lead in generating that information. But as far as communication, your interaction with them, and they say they will share that information in terms of communicating and advancing the interests of the party. But say, party communication directed national, it is only to the extent, say, we are Kasama party, because everything about communication is managed by the communication directorate of the party. So the director of communication or not the so to the extent say engaging in communication, the director of communication would be the person generally working with them. But it is not more so motion as they are National Council creation until they work to National Council specifically. But in terms of say communication, I act on be engaging in work in hand with the party directorate of communication.
Because by some of us near confused kakra because we say for example for the transport committee now you were spokespersons or the transport committee so it means that those spokespersons wouldn't get any clarification from you before they speak. That was our problem. And two, we share your communication committee. So how different would that be from your office, your large office? How different would you as a director of communication, your office, and that communication office now, Margaret Sisian?
Yeah. So the communication committee, right? The communication committee, advising the communication directorate. And the director of communication is the secretary to the National Council committee now, taking care of communication. Policy, ideas, managing the affairs of communication, was a committee domain. It is a communication director, I knew this assembly and the command National Council to be through that committee, working with the chair of the committee and the members, that committee, it's always been there. It's part of the National Council committee. It's not in conflict with the communication director, no. But I say board, board, say they are CEO, now board. Committee, communication committee acts as the board governing the affairs of the communications of the party. So the director of communication, being the CEO, works with the board to implement the communication objectives of the party.
I see. There's another one that Abanko for team. So read the NPP constitution. You have your discipline committee. I'm going to establish a discipline committee, and you have a discipline committee in your party. So that discipline committee will be about Omono Babe dia ankasa.
Discipline committee, man.
What you watch? Oh, sir. Okay, that I'm sorry. Can we roll it again? If you are made a mistake there, yes, I think that we can roll it again. Say if there is nothing like that, then we can.
So there's a National Council standing committee, a disciplinary committee, a National Council committee.
Okay. So that one is there already. Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Now help us. The selection process, how did you come by it? Because it looks like say you say nipa osmasi we say na say kiade na baha na nipa we say na say kokwa we say na say ko beka ho any ade. For example, nipa ba ko na nipa bebre eka na sem owura kwasi kwate our public relations officer Ediama Ministry of Education for 8 good years in the erstwhile the Nado Kwaku administration. But Usha we say no, recently is very vibrant on radio and television, argue on behalf of the party. But I say the education sector, no, even the spokespersons on Kahubi. So they say, how did they come by the selection? No, Moya say, Kwabena Mofa somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, my take, sir, comment, and I'll go for other India or Mabubo, Akamu. Your
deputy, one of your deputies, George Krobia Sante. George Krobia Sante has been in this transport business for so many years, from railway to transport. Metro Mass Christ about 12 years. I'll be transport there. Even a lot of people consulting when it comes to transport, but even Onukoye communication director in the transport is not part of the spokesperson. So tell us how the selection was done.
Right. And it now say George be a deputy there. Kwesi kwate a wakara sebi omo ina sepata say ombetumi awo sa committee no so but kwakwa say you have a tight sports say nipa be me nsam enan na be poso blaster wa hayi ye ne support blaster also say omo bo what they say na bibiri no so support no ebetumi a coach bo mo ya coach ba ko ebetumi aka ho ma ya hia ko bobi ama blaster we ni omo a wo nyina de omo si nche na de me no bi ni striker ha e be she go brache omo a be ma no bobi no but I can say at the end of the day no o hia a certain number of people na omo our team name. And what we have done now is to constitute a team. So our team no abeye juma. Na sa juma na abeye no omo produce generative data ama yina. And the communication team no larger NDC communication team no. And the what abeye juma. But we committee no I say mun ko na mun ko share information mbra. Mun ko na mun ko do sa asset na mo suko. Na de wo ho the abani a new ideas are if you Ghana for ho ba sen ka ye penisi and abana ye ni say ye ni abani nya adwene ni we mu nyina munko pesa information mbra se mo be research o se mo be titi the Ghana for ka na ma aka bomu e de ye mo report ama National Executive Committee na ba National Council na ya admit the ye policy aboa na de inform your communication munko ye say adwuma into a specific task to me ma a party for nyina nkonko ye ti accelerate kakra na no nkire se omo aya select omo no ye de omo ka ho a enye yi anase ye de omo ka ho mo ntumi nye but I say is fixed spot and the department ko bi bi na betumi aye but ya ka adwuma kese na nyina betumi asomo abo ama yi and the consultation also access for capacity dwuma o ma ye and then other considerations also and they are selecting this. Then say omo a ye omo free mo no your time and ask omo to be here to money there just fixed spot the obetumia e dey aka ho na otumia aka oyi pa ko film sesi a the way you film a owo so sesi a oyi onu film a we be ka say na oyi we film but do dey say
yeah
team a limited number but one not nipa betumi aboss a team no bebere kwa but 22 na say o de kwa na eno kwa na betumi dey akọ o ma aka no o bo mpa eze omo de pa bo beta omochi na amakoko wini cap na be oman no anase party no ti enye ade say ya se da yi bi efiri mu esa say em omasem anase ye pe omo e dey aka ho na asem chin o David but say it's just a matter of practical constraints.
Okay, ti yamfa de say ukọ constituency bia your communication director e the constituency level and your say kwada mo de police station kwa so abeka ho amobeto omo so aba ti yamfa de say the police station communicator constituency to regional mem national sankofo ni na nipa bebrebe about thousands of people we now report to Edemau you Mr. Richard Ahiaba now se bi obi a communication director e constituency bi na bi an district and say locality no or on your communication se committee ya matiti efa expert o mo data mo spokesperson se bi obi aka bibi dia fa agrek ho o maye research any data bi e dia fa agrek ho and say o mo dia fa be fa communication ho a omo ye ne se ba abonten a apart from omo no de ono no wo director of communication no ono no constituency any region level no ono obetimi akasa fa ho e de aye debate abra we mu no anaso omo kwa ne delegate omo se omo kwa ne betimi akoka ho asem minim so ati be question
mato asefa adabi no and then America say eduma kese no aye communication no and then ye nyina na be ti me nua pesi kwati obo ni di George Kobia me deputy ye nyina be ko so aye manesa.
So it means that you haven't disabled anybody
at all committees they do no teach you ni ye say sector no a omo ye dey show mo sam the objective is that omo do sa sector no go support and it is a base ye can agree ka sa sector no say the koba nyina o agree sector the aban ye the aban say aban ye onye the Ghana for can say a pese abani ye ebo agree abani ye no aye ko enimu no ho nyaaya nka abani be ye no sa information no ana omo gather e dey aboa party nti omo nya sa information na e ba party go enti communication officer oti Ketu South and as oti in South Madrid no ono benya access to that information through the communication directorate I am processing that information and after through training and as whatever means you dey be ma omo na omo enya sa nimdie no e dey communicate but e bia e bank from say na e bia sector no e bia agree na asem bia ba na e pese kasa spokesperson betumi akasa afa agree issues but na interest on no kwa na betumi e di sa sector no.
I see that's fantastic. Now let's stay in your office a little bit. Your office, no, you better say be a danyane, assembly ba, and as assembly by Enranajo. For example, since America say President Mahama pass that a law bill ya abe, legal bill ya abe. Nyami watch that people will start discussing it. Now, a basse noa, who as the head, the arrowhead of all the communication directorate, no. Aya, what your communicators know what to say, and sometimes I say, hey, Charlie, we come, they are all good there, but I say, what should I say? I don't know.
Yes, your system, to me, Emma would be out here. It's a question of Asamabano party position, you know, sir, a bad party take position, a call from Mabubi, who said your party, no. Party na India has a position about this legal barrier on the party position any nti obia to that line that's that aspect in your system
I see so the beya obi nkoka different thing bia but
there are issues say for example you know NDC decision by omaye say bia let's take this bill for example, or even on the special prosecutor's officer. Omako court, joining application say, let's take away the attendant, special prosecutor, the decision to prosecute, let's take it from him. No, yeah, matter, specific, policy specific issue, except party, no position. Here say, you would say, says our office of special prosecutor, yes, scrap and I say, and walk. Now, say, special prosecutor, and it to me now, yeah, the man. What does it mean? Does it mean that the year of better application, all the friends, attorney general, answer to me, prosecute to be. Now, part in the position, listen, and yes, I say, as far as the permission or the granting of any permission for prosecution to the special prosecutor, the Act acknowledges that the Constitution, acknowledges prosecution is in there. Attorney general, no point to me again. Say on to me, yeah, he can authorize people in that constitution appreciate that. So in crafting the act, our conclusion is that the act allows for the special prosecutor to be able to make independent decisions to prosecute. But I don't say on attorney general to be doing common. In the assembly whereby it's a party position, we have to communicate it to go down. Say, yeah, your position it is a position decision about taking on. Because the act makes us A, B, C, D, which means it's special prosecutor, but so we have that independence, not the one. BBC, we have a system of communicating it to everybody. But in terms of say all kind example of experience, if you are not a story, if you have a for what you say, no, there's no guidance about the principal issue, the substance of the matter. Is party will decide. They said you're into that direction. Is something that we communicate, but I don't know we have a system.
Okay, Matthias, your party na hana yeko. Eti ekoya obefaso you also micromanage the message na ebetron kophobia that in the positive way towards your party.
Exactly. The main issue, the substance of the matter. And no, the party takes a position. No, maybe to me, what I say, some person must scrap or must scrap it. And I say, the party didn't say scrap. And I say, NDC 4% scrap. I think no. Otherwise, you are not speaking for the New Patriotic Party. No, speaking for yourself, you can have that position. But some about will show you so. Say the director of communication for the New Patriotic Party speaking in that capacity. I cannot vary from the party's position because party Egypt say, sir, a special prosecutor office, a idea about the party's position is to fight corruption. It is our position is to fight corruption. Now we cannot disagree with an office that is working to fight corruption. It's only a party position guided by principle of the party. Every party member is told or is aware. I mean, sometimes based on our constitution and membership responsibility, we wouldn't say the same way the MPP say they can, because as a party, your values, your ideology, we say the same way any ideology a call. Maybe I gray areas, our party say we say no, you disagree and I say agree. Any party for can now be able to say I say a party the position now be
that's very, very, very informative. Now catching you, for example, Office of the Special Prosecutor versus the Attorney General, Asamna Court, Supreme Court, then me Kesben Media. We have a lot of high-profile programs. For example, this one, The Punch, and all that. Nebia, your production team, at almost at your friend. Somebody who New Patriotic Party say speaking on the matter on behalf of NPP. Nebia, most of Nebia more a legal brace be or on my esenka on the neighbor. Bibisa, aya, was a be Saturdays, high profile programs, and only a day, Mami Mobidi, News File, TV3 Key Point, Good Morning Ghana, Kesben, Marchesone Adiano. Aya, no, as a director of communication, you delegate people, assign people to go there, and now say, or if for now from one or more, you give them the free will.
So the best thing, is a party, schedule. ma omoko programs. So more programs ni be party no assigning the pama eba. And the share program no, and then the requirements are maybe a program so be also requirements. Though sometimes I disagree with them because party communication is structured. Structured. The guy told me be a man focus so only a lawyer, a way. Political. It's a say be a legal analysis of a law, but my friend lawyer. Oh, okay. But if it is in the context of political communication, you don't necessarily need a lawyer. You need somebody who is properly briefed by party, and understands the issue and the politics of it. Because the area of radio so and TV so and law no court. It will be a lawyer that say be a court that could discuss it because I want to put to go. But a back any Ghana for exactly about special prosecutor say be find on my example. So I say me a lawyer for us. A political matter. Say politics no and a leading policy. So politics any law more interacting. So politics makes the law. Politics advances the policy.
Okay.
That's what I say. Yeah. If I elect President Fado, say on be president, and will say or per se or this special prosecutor, that is politics.
Okay.
The Emra aspect, and he say, why be so near Emra the my say you criticize, yes, so you Article 88. And no, am I say Attorney General and prosecuting Attorney General or as I say, you're creating when I say Attorney General money to me, and you can't act up or share art and you say Attorney General, you're passing art in India or operationalize it through LI or Parliament. Now, and no act up or Attorney General authorization. Say office now about creating using only 2 million and go yeduma. And 2 emra so but the policy is politics. It is about now and one by some so yen flew home, and I'm say 2 million the politics of it is that okay, the use our office if you are the objective of fighting corruption or saying. And you who they are politics now that's the law. I say who critique court or TV so and I say who critique court or radio so. All right. But don't just say. Yeah, so you my our friend of pay and we are politics. Say a year and I say the man there court. Say only me disagree no disagree. Say only the end of put say only me disagree who now did man I say me na me before. A court the back. Say Emrano akosisi, but the politics of it is not actually say some office when you move here. Okay. But programs here offer a drew a Bryan best name for no. You share some accommodations I name media for no. They say okay, you pay way. Sometimes some pay them paying for their more experience or sector on the but to me, okay. But the no is something party does. Yeah, a year station of normally no you penny station other friend. You penny say young person be sending the park because say musho bi ona nipa emma so yen fa nipa maso na how say more na mo friend nipa no a say mutumi ma yehu na ye di nkuta ho na ye make sure say be deploy abasa programs. All right. Say you better sipa. We thank you very much. In fact, so just 30 seconds on this because my next speakers that I have Ora David Oforechapo and Ora Epe online CCCI yeah be different but catch before I about to abano this 30 seconds answer before I about to abano never for complaining about NPP communication say it's a little bit I mean say shada near papa but you to be from 2025 basis I say the communication is so solid. Apart from Ashanti region, how they communication the leader there, people been complaining center, left and right. But as for that one, but what I'm saying is that it looks like as a nationwide, no communication is solid. Why? So who opposition are different from say we are not criticism, the same criticism than defending. Yeah, what Ashanti region, Poyando is a solid guy. By communication, a cover. enti no de or a solid guy no make kasa any day actually but say asem no say nipa na etie no and render that judgment but what I say because and then yet Ghana hana my president Mahama say Ghana economy no ayeyi yes I no kai but say ayeyi you must stabilize the economy no once stabilize the economy nipa nya adwuma nti say nipa na otifia o nya adwuma no wonu say economy nya enti asem na wo ka nipa no experience na akire enti in government communication is difficult. It is a bit harder. Senyoma enkuye kakra no that's a challenge that comes. Okay. But I think particularly they all kind of say the best answer for you is that this government they are not performing. That's how come you can see that Ghanaians are in agreement with the opposition say that's the reflection you are seeing in our communication.
Thank you very much, Mr.
About 40% unemployment, youth unemployment of Ghana.
This week, you have for this uncle.